Good afternoon, y'all. Doing a quick video this afternoon to answer a question from my comments from yesterday. It was a really good question. He asked, in my opinion, how do you handle the excess confidence and energy that you will gain from doing this? And it's a really good question because oftentimes it can feel like we're on top of the world and we can do anything. And one thing I did want to bring up before kind of diving fully into this question is that when you're practicing this journey, you're actually not just practicing abstaining from watching these videos, but you're also practicing patience at the same time. Some people that just do this for a very short period of time, like a week or a few weeks, might develop a little bit of patience, but it's not really quite the same level of patience that you will develop from making it more of a permanent habit in your life. So what can happen as a result of this is, if you're kind of viewing it from a perspective of like that this journey is over at some point, like you're just doing it for a little while, even if you've developed a little bit of patience, when an opportunity comes up in your life, whether that's like a job opportunity or a relationship or social interaction, whatever it might be, your patience might be a little bit thin by that point, because maybe you've abstained for a few weeks, but maybe you're like almost on the brink of like wanting to slip up or something like that. So you might still have the confidence, but you might be, again, kind of acting in a state of urgency a little bit. So you might really push for that relationship or that job opportunity, whatever it might be. And you might feel like you're acting like you're just really confident and you're going and getting it. But the thing is, it might work, but a lot of times, if you're kind of like acting in this state of like impatience, what can actually happen is that it's not going to be a healthy foundation for a job or relationship. Because let's say that you actually get it, then it's going to be kind of like this unequal balance of like, you pushed really hard for this thing, but this other person didn't really like necessarily want it that much. So just right off the bat, it's already an unequal amount that each person is giving to said thing. So a lot of times later on, that can end up blowing up in your face, because the manager or whoever it might be might realize, oh, I didn't really want to hire this person, they kind of just talked me into it, and then you're left without that opportunity. So it's very important to remember that this is also a practice of patience. And even if you feel really confident and you really want something in your life, you kind of have to remember that sometimes the best way of showing confidence is actually being patient and just like waiting for the right moment to maybe like try to get an opportunity or experience this thing that you're trying to get. And patience is something that is really underappreciated by society, I think, because it kind of just sounds like some kind of like Buddhist thing where people are just like, oh, practice patience and you'll get what your heart desires. But it really does have an impact on how sound everything in your life is. Like if you're really patient and you work hard, I'm not saying don't work hard, you should definitely work hard, you should take opportunities when they happen, but it's important to be patient. And if something is just not happening for you in that moment, that doesn't mean that it will never happen. But sometimes the best thing you can do is just kind of walk away and then see if that thing just comes to you naturally. Because it's almost like trying to take a key that's just like not fitting in a door and you're just like jamming it in there to like try to unlock it. But the key was not designed for that door. Now, if you wait long enough, you might find a door that key does unlock. But most people try to do the first one and they try to jam it in the door and just get what they're looking for. So I would say that is really important to remember just in general, is that yes, you will gain a lot of confidence from this. You will also gain a lot of energy, and you should use that in a way that promotes whatever you're trying to do. Like, I typically use the excess energy, and I am working on my craft. Been spending more time exercising and doing these sorts of things, but you'll almost find that when you don't try as hard, things just will naturally fall into place a little bit more. It's really weird, and I know it sounds bizarre, but I'm telling you, people are attracted to that kind of energy. They're not really attracted to the kind of energy where you're like constantly needing something from them or wanting something. So if you can understand that, that's a really big part of this whole thing. So I hope that answered your question, but if you do have any other questions, or if anyone else has any questions in the comments, or feel free to leave a comment. So I'm on day 40 now. I was basically on day 40 in my last video, but it might have really been closer to 39. So pretty shortly I'll be doing my 6-week update, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys have a good rest of the Monday.